And tonight we are counting down to Saturday, and Saturday is going to be a day when the NPP will have to make a decision. Who is going to lead them into the 2024 elections? Tonight, a conversation we want to have, and we are having a two-part show. The first part is a conversation with the NPP kingmakers, these very powerful delegates. And then the second part of the show, that is around 9:30 to 10:30, we'll bring in the representatives of some of the leading contenders into the studio for a conversation. We'll speak to the party's general secretary and then also hear from Professor Kobe Mensah. As we build into Saturday, but also understanding how these candidates are spending these last few moments before they go before these delegates for a decision. And I want to start straight up there because we have more than 200,000 delegates who will be making a decision. And in the lead up to this, we've been focusing on them. And tonight I want to have a conversation with them. We focus quite a bit on the candidates themselves. But as you see on the screens here, they will be making the decision. Michael Adombere is the NPP delegate. He's in the Bolgatanga Central, and he's the constituency youth organizer there, and he has a vote. He's going to be making a decision. Also joining us is Richard Yao Amankwa. He's a delegate in the Bantama constituency. And Stephen Kwabena Ayengsu is a polling station executive and an NPP delegate in the Lejukuku constituency. All three of them, very important. They hold the power. And I want to have a chat with them tonight. And I want to bring in Stephen. And Stephen is in the Greater Accra region. And the conversation we're having is three delegates, three different locations. And when you do a delegate breakdown, what you will find is that the majority of the delegates sit in the Greater Accra region and in the Ashanti region. So if you are a candidate, you want to focus in these two areas because that's where you find the bulk of the number as far as the delegates are concerned. And Stephen is in the Greater Accra region. And Stephen, give me a sense of how you've been engaging with the delegates and their representatives in the lead up to this particular primary. What has been the mode? When they come into your constituency, what happens? Just give me a sense of what happened. And Stephen is the polling station executive and the NPP delegate in the Lejukuku constituency. Of what happened is visit.
Good evening to you and good evening to your cherished viewers. It's quite interesting. You see, leading up to this internal primaries, all the candidates are coming in with their messages. They are delivering their messages very well. You know that the constituencies are 275 constituencies, and the candidates cannot be in all these various constituencies at the various at a particular point in time. So one interesting thing is that they are campaigning. People who are reps of these candidates are the ones working with the delegates. They are serving as a liaison between the candidates and the delegates on grounds. So when they are not here, it is them who deliver their messages on their behalf. And it is very interesting. Delegates are listening to these messages, and everyone is calm when you come to especially my constituency in Lejukuku. Mm-hmm. Everyone is calm. We are listening to their messages, and in fact, everyone is calm.
I see.
Everyone is calm.
And let me go to the Upper East region. Let me go to Bolgatanga. Let me bring in Adombere. And Adombere is there and in the Upper East region, pretty far from Accra, but the candidates are traveling, meeting them. Yesterday, Dr. Bamia was in the Upper East region campaigning there. Adombere, tell me your story. How have you been engaging with the candidates when they come?
Good evening, Evans. Good evening to your cherished listeners.
I lost you there. Please unmute yourself. I think you mistakenly muted yourself.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you now.
We in the Bolgatanga Central constituency and for that matter Upper East region are very resolute. We were blessed to have a rally that was yesterday. I think you saw it yourself. Our own brother Bura was there. Look, it's a done deal for the vice president, and I think that the rest should consider to.
For you, you've already For you, you've already made a decision who you're voting for.
Oh, yes. You see, the vice president is representing the entire youth. And you see the policies and programs and everything that this Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, and the vice president, the first-class vice president, has introduced in line with what we call policies, again towards the youth. So the youth out there are saying that they do not have any excuse to go behind or reject him come 4th November. And we are very prepared. No amount of any. This is an internal contest, and these are very fine brains with us. And we appreciate that, yes, when such an issue comes, we all try to also put our personality in front to see whether we can get the needed support. But in this case, I think that it is a done deal for them.
I see. And Adombre, when did you make up your mind? And what convinced you? When did you do this?
We started seeing signs and symptoms in the persona in terms of, when you come to the northern part, we believe in the cultural settings. And this is an individual who has shown that he truly represents that. And we are blessed. I want to be part of the history. Most of the youth wing are out there and they want to be part of the history. For that matter, there's no any excuse. And for that matter, we are saying that it is a done deal. But all the same, we know fear delegates, but we are also watching on the ground.
Exactly, fear delegates indeed. And Stephen, have you also made up your mind already here in the Greater Accra region of Jukuku?
Yeah, Evans, for me personally, I have made up my mind. And I know I am not the only one. Other delegates in the constituency, most of them have made up their minds in Lejokuku constituency. And Evans, one thing that I would like to put across is Lejokuku constituency alone has about 1,800 delegates. Yes, Lejokuku constituency, we have most of the delegates in this constituency. And so campaigning to these people or bringing out or trying to convince them, it's quite a job for the candidates. But I believe there are people on grounds, their representatives here are also working extremely hard for them. And I can tell you that most of them have made up their mind, including myself.
So 1,800 delegates in Lejokuku. So
yes, please.
When the candidates come to campaign, yesterday I have a dynamo here who said, when you go, you sometimes have to provide transport. You sometimes have to provide food for the delegates. Do you expect this from the candidates when they come, transportation and food?
Okay, personally, you see, we need to understand the system we are doing or we are dealing with when it comes to internal politics. For NPP, we have what we call delegates. We only become delegates when it is time for elections. We are all polling station executives. We have constituency executives. We have coordinators, the zonal coordinators. And in Lejokuku, we have 19 zones. So the zonal coordinators, the constituencies, council of elders, the patrons, they all form parts of this 1,800 delegates. And when they come, you see, most of the delegates might be on their work. Some might be coming. Others are not even staying in the constituency, but they are in the constituency album. Maybe they used to be in the constituency, but because of work, they are no longer in Teshin or Lejokuku, let me put it that way. So when a candidate comes, the candidate informs the party executives, the executives inform the zonal coordinators, the zonal coordinators also inform the polling station chairman at the various polling stations, so that they will send the information to the polling station executives in the album. So when it happens like that, sometimes the candidates will come, they'll be like, oh, they can't let you come to their meeting and leave just like that. They need to put out transportation fares or for you. Okay, sometimes they see like, oh, maybe you've sat for a very long time. So let me give you something for food, for snacks, for transport. So that is what the candidates most of the times give out to the delegates. Let me put it here, because they have called them to come for their meeting. Yes, okay. Yes, please.
So they give you money for food, for transport, as you've explained. Let me understand this. it's been a long campaign period leading up to Saturday. So it started with 10 aspirants. Now you have 4. How many times typically will one candidate and his people visit a constituency? So in your case, Lejokuku, how many times have you seen before the superdelegates? How many times did you see each of the 10 aspirants?
Okay, so for Lejokuku, I happen personally from the information we received from our executives. We had the first person coming here personally was Kennedy Ohine Japan. Then Dr. Mahmoud Baumia came personally. Then Honorable Alan Kojo Chamanti came personally. These are the only 3 candidates I have seen personally in Lejokuku.
They came once?
But yes, they've been here once. They've been here, they've been interacted with us, yes, once.
And the others?
Yes, but for the others, that's what I'm saying. For the Lejokuku, I haven't seen Adein in my constituency. Okay. I haven't seen Boachie Jaku and the rest. I didn't see them in my constituency. And when they come and they leave, they don't just leave. Because the constituencies, like I said, you have 275 constituencies in Ghana. They can't be everywhere at the same time. So what they are doing is that they have representatives in the constituency who are calling for meetings. And let me say the team Baumia are doing so much well in Lejokuku, because when Baumia came and he left, they've been on delegates in the constituencies. They've been telling us, in the zones, in the various electoral areas, telling us and reminding us about the messages of Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. And this past week, that was somewhere last week, a representative of Dr. Mahmoud Baumia came to see every delegate in their zone. In the 19 zones we have in Lejokuku, they came there to see each and every delegate in their zones. They brought in their message, reminded us, and I think that is something they are doing. For Honorable Kennedy Japan's team, I haven't seen them interacting with delegates in that aspect. Okay, so I can say for the presidential, that is how everything is going in, to be precise.
I see. So you meet them, and then let me get a picture here. So they transport the food. They give it to you in cash, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
sometimes they can give you, like, let's say, they can give you 200 cedis for each delegate or 100 cedis for each delegate. Wow. Maybe the 50 cedis for their transport, the 50 cedis for your snack or the food, because you came to sit for quite a long time waiting for them. Maybe they can also give us a meeting. They can schedule a meeting at 12 o'clock. Some delegates might even be there before 12 o'clock. But the time that the candidate himself would get to the constituency might be, let's say, 2 hours or an hour later. You get it? And when they come, they have about, let's say, 1 hour or 2 hours to deliver their messages. Delegates will be sitting, listening to them. So at least for the candidates, therefore, once they've called for the meeting, your transportation, wherever you are coming from, they have to cater for it. Your food, your snack, your water, everything in the money that they give it to you. Yes,
okay,
please.
So 200 CDs, ranging from 100 to 200 CDs.
Yes, please.
Okay, in Lejokuku you have 1,800 delegates. So if you're doing if you're doing 200 CDs per delegate, that you can do the maths yourself. That tells you that. And this is just in Lejokuku.
But Evans, let me come in. You see, most of the times you also need to understand the candidates. That most of the candidates don't bring out this money on their own. People are there supporting them. Do you understand? Let's take it for instance, Evans, I am a candidate. I'm going to run an election. I can't use my personal money or my own money to fund all this. You understand? So people who share into my ideas, my policies, who want to come on board to help me can do some contributions. Someone can even cater for dates for themselves. So I am not trying to send a message out there that they are financing it themselves. People are in. Recently, even people come in. They come in, they call you, they give you money on behalf of a candidate without even the candidate knowing. You understand? So these are things that goes on in our politics, which we need to understand. Yes.
I mean, let me go to Adombre. Adombre, is the situation the same in the Upper East region? What's the average amount you receive in that particular constituency, in your particular constituency?
Evans, with regards to what you just asked, this is a farming season, and for that matter, if you want to take out the work time of delegates who are in their harvesting season, there is a need for you to appreciate them on one way or the other. And most of the times, you realize that our appointees to seize the opportunity to engage our delegates to also understand what is going on in governance. So it's just a quota of an appreciation to them to encourage them for coming out to be part of the story in which we want to realize come.
Hello, Adombre. Oh, goodness, we may have lost him there. Do we have Stephen still with me? Okay, Stephen, stay with me because this is obviously fascinating, listening to how this actually works in reality. We assume we know, but when you listen to the delegates, it's a very interesting dynamic happening on the ground. As you've heard, the people go there, the candidates themselves don't even know they're there, and they give them money. Stephen, I'm pretty sure you've heard that it's people now aspire to be delegates because you make a lot of money. You've said between 100 and 200 CDs. Is that the most money you've received, or there are circumstances where you expect that you get thousands of CDs?
Evans, if I heard you correctly, sorry, my network jammed, so no I didn't. Can you come?
I'm saying, again, please? Many people now look at delegates and they say, "You guys make a lot of money in this season. This is your cocoa season." Is that true? Have you become wealthy as a result of you being a delegate?
No, Evans, not actually. You see, that perception is what is out there. You understand? But we need to understand again that when we have delegates like, let's say, 200 or 300, and we have the candidates of higher capacity somewhere, let's say we'll be having 4 candidates in. I'm talking about the parliamentary. I'm in this context. I'm talking about the parliamentary. Let's say you have about 200 delegates. Just imagine giving each delegate 1,000 CDs you can afford. You understand? And that is where the delegates know that, because they are not many, giving them 1,000 CDs, they would say like, oh yes, they've given me a lot of money. But when it comes to Lejokuku, where we have 1,800 delegates, just imagine, Evans, how are you going to be able to finance 1,800 delegates and are going to give each and every person 1,000 CDs? It's not possible. You understand? And for delegates, the polling station executives actually, they expect you to be visiting them more frequently, okay? Because they know that once you are going to college, you are going to give us transportation, okay? And polling station executives, some of them are personal, self-employed, others are not working, others are masons, construction. You see, we have so many different kinds of people forming the delegates. So dealing with people in this form, Evans, you can judge it for yourself. You understand?
And yourself, what do you do?
For me, I just finished my national service just this recently. Yes.
Okay, so you are unemployed.
No, I am employed. I'm having a work I do myself.
Okay, so you're self-employed.
I'm not on the government payroll. Yes, but so I'm self-employed doing some work. Yes.
Have you made overall? Have you made good money as a result?
No,
of being a delegate?
No,
not at all.
No.
Okay.
No. For the presidential, you're not going to get any money. For the presidential, what money are you going to get? Because
so where's the money? So where's the money?
Come again.
So you don't make money from the presidential. What about the parliamentary? Where's the money coming from?
The parliamentary, you're not going to make money. The money that a delegate can make, let's say for the whole campaign period till the time of election, won't be something more than 500, let's say 600 cities.
Oh, really?
You understand? Because when it comes to Lejokuku, we have 4 parliamentary candidates contesting. Okay, and each and every time the candidates are visiting, Okay, when they call for meeting, like I said, they'll give you your TNT, let's say 100 cities. Okay, their reps will come in. Just imagine if they meet you like, let's say 2 or 3 times. Okay, and they give you 100 cities, 100 cities, 100 cities. That's, let's say, 300 cities. Okay, what are you going to use, let's say, that 300 cities for? It's not enough in money that is like enough. Do you get it? So that perception in people's head that delegates make money is something that I want to put across. And Evans, you see, the last time you guys were having this thing like fear delegates.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to put across that the last time one of your reporters came to have an interview with me, and I had a video out there, and I think because of the editing, he took some of my listing, and the public took some of it out of context. But I want to say that candidates or delegates shouldn't be feared.
Okay.
Delegates accept whoever comes in with the right message.
But you know who said that, right? Your former General Secretary said that. He says we should fear you.
Because, yes, that's what I want to say. Because Evans, let's say you belong to the New Patriotic Party. Okay, yeah. Let's say you are in Lejokuku, you are contesting to become a parliamentary candidate. You are a member of the party. You are not coming alone. You are coming with other members of the party too. We are all party people. Now let's say, Evans, when you come, we need to be happy seeing you. We will cheer you on. Okay? To you, the politician or the candidate, you might feel we cheering you on is a form of acceptance.
But the point is that you also take their monies, right? But you don't vote for them.
That's what I'm saying. The last time I said that, when you come to me, okay, I'll let you know that this is the candidate I'm going for. That is my style. That is other style of most of the delegates in this constituency. We will tell you. Most of the delegates know where they belong.
Okay, so okay? When you tell them, they still give you the money anyway.
The money is not to let's say to
buy your vote. To buy your vote, yeah.
You can't buy my vote. No. You can't buy my vote. Okay. How much are you going to give me for me to buy? I'm having 1 vote. Okay, but if I'm an influential person in the constituency or in the midst of my polling station executives, and they know my influence I carry, they will try to buy me with their vote to come and be part of their team.
And how much will they pay in that circumstance?
They won't pay money. If you want to know their money, why are you stressing on their money?
Oh, but they said if they want to get you to go into their team, I'm just curious. In circumstance, how much will they pay you?
No, Evans, you see, that's what I'm saying, that politicians are doing all this to win power, okay? And that's what I'm saying, that delegates listen to the message. But when you come to me or you go to another person, that person won't let you know that he or she has rejected you, okay? We will accept you, but maybe because delegates don't let them know who they are going to vote for. Most delegates don't want to tell that I'm voting for this candidate or this candidate because of how maybe they might think you feel. Okay, delegates are very discerning. Delegates listen to messages people, candidates bring to them before they inform their decision on who to vote for.
Let me go to Adumbiri, who is reconnecting. We lost him earlier. Adumbiri, you started off by telling us that, look, this is the farming season. So if you want me to abandon my farm and come and listen to your message, then there's a real justification there for you to pay me for the time I'm losing on the farm.
That's not the case. You know, what I tried to put across was that delegates, for that matter, those who are within the Balatanga Central Constituency, vote according to your message, a message that will bring transformation in their life. Today, you know the level of poverty in our part of our country, and for that matter, the intervention, the social services that was introduced by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, aided by his able first-class Vice President, the famous free SHS. Come, look, it is something that we buy into it. It will not be quite long. We will see over 50 Muslim students who will be coming out as trained doctors. These are the policies that will influence the decision, not entirely money. Like my colleague rightly said, how much are you going to give to the delegates? You yourself, If you think that you can without a message and think that you can entice anybody with your money, I don't think that you are being fair to your own self and your own judgment.
But the delegates, but the candidates, they still offer the money, don't they, when it comes to Bolgatanga? They still offer the money.
Yes, very true. But you see, the case is that you are coming to visit, and whoever is going to the chief palace must pay homage. And for that matter, if you need my attention, definitely you will pay homage for me to see that, yes, this is what you are bringing on table. And that is the cultural setting of our...
So in your case, for example, in your case where you are, how much do you expect the candidate to pay you when it comes to campaign?
Oh, I don't think there is an amount I expect. I think that it is from their decision and their judgment, and we cannot say that. And that will countermount to what we call corruption. You know, it's. But the delegates are aware that it is not all the time that you invite them and come and then say that this or that, or you give them money. But it is a period at which we want to elect somebody who will be our flag bearer or whatever portfolio be it in the constitution which has been shown or given out by our party leadership to contest. For that matter, I dare say that, look, the most important thing is that these are tokens, these are fuel giving. Evans, you agree with me that when we go for adores, when we go for what they call it, seminars, we go for what they call it, workshops. Yeah, they definitely give you food to eat. What about that one? Why is it all about the politician? And for that matter, why are we not talking about that?
And I need to ask you your view. I need to ask your view on this too. Fear delegates. You accept that that we should fear you? The candidate should really fear the delegate, like yourself?
I think the candidate should appreciate delegates, not to fear delegates. Because when you fear them, why do you go to them? You must appreciate them because whatever you are going to tell them what you think that is realistic on the ground that they can buy into it. That is the bottom line. It is not about fearing delegates. Yes, some may go other way, but all the same, as we already said, if you familiarize yourself with delegates and they know you and know that anytime they are looking for you, they will find you when they are in need of one or two help, you will still pick their course. Then definitely they will buy into your message.
Ms. Andrew, tell me in quick bullets, what for you will be the most important factor you consider when you cast your vote on Saturday? Adombre, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What will be the most important? What will be the most important factor you consider when you cast your vote on Saturday?
The factor I will consider is today when I'm passing by the NHI office, I don't see the crowd there, and it is something that it is an achievement by the New Patriotic Party, and many more students are in school, and for that matter, they are earning something as hot meals, and it is still continuing. And for that matter, will influence my decision. We want continuity. For that matter, we are urging our colleagues and for that and the other aspirants to just throw in the towel and support the candidate.
You have already made up your mind on this.
Oh yeah.
Let me bring in Stephen. Stephen, what about you? What's the most important factor?
What I'm going to look at is a candidate who is going to help our party win power, because the main aim or the main objective of a political party is to win power. So we are going to look at a candidate who can unite the party, draw votes from the rank and file of the nation. And mind you, politics now or elections now is based on science and data. The NPP, we've gotten to know that the NDC wins elections most in their strongholds. And we all know political scientists have proven and researchers have proven that in Ghana, the stronghold of the National Democratic Congress, which is the NDC, is the Volta region, the Zongo communities, and the Northern region. So NPP, we need to also come together, unite our base, and look at how best we can also win more votes from the stronghold of the NDC. And I'm looking at a candidate who can win us that power.
Very quick, do you expect final round of campaigning before Saturday morning? And we know that sometimes the night before and sometimes even on the day, that's when the proper movement happens, the big cash.
It's going on. It's even starting from this evening. It's going on.
Oh, I see.
People are working.
I see. So
yes,
you expect that. So is it that, finally, before I go, is it that this period between now and Saturday, that's when the big cash comes?
Okay, I don't know, because I don't know the cash candidate is going to give to about Lejikuku alone, 1,800 people. Go to other constituencies. Okay, just imagine 1,000 delegates per constituency. Multiply that by 275 constituencies. How much are you going to give to them?
But personally, you expect to at least get something between now and Saturday?
That if you give me something, for me, I will take. Okay. But you are not going to give it to me to influence my vote.
Okay, so you will take, but you don't necessarily vote for them on Saturday.
No, that's like I said, most of the delegates have decided already. Okay. So why are you trying to bring money to influence them?
Okay.
Money cannot influence me at this time. Okay.
Adobre, let me ask Adobre that same question. Adobre, do you expect more money to come in, although you made up your mind who you are going to vote for from your candidate or other candidates between now and Saturday?
We need a winnable candidate, not just a candidate.
Yeah, I know, but I'm asking you quickly. Do you expect more money to come into the constituency, to your area, before Saturday, between now and Saturday?
We are expecting more logistics to make sure that the grassroots of the party works very assiduously to continue to.
And I'm just curious, though. What's your profession? What do you do? what do you do for a living as a delegate?
I am a professional teacher.
Okay, so you are a teacher.
And I do some petty things to add up.
I see. Okay, so the delegate, being a delegate is not your profession.
Oh no. Okay. We are NPP members, and for that matter, an officer of the party.
And this is just by the way. Now you speak to the young people. They ask them, what do you want to do when you grow up? They say, I want to be a delegate. That they've heard a real story. That it's not as rosy as it's been painted to be. But thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. A very interesting conversation, getting to know the reality on the ground, the power that the delegates actually wield. They say, well, listen, they made up their minds and they'll be voting for their own candidate. But if you bring the money, they will take. And a bit of honesty there tonight. When I return from this break, we're going to be sitting down with representatives of the candidates, having a conversation. As you heard there, Stephen say, he's expecting that movement will happen. He says it's happening right now, movement. All the candidates moving right now to get these delegates to vote for them. And what will they really take? Is it all about cash? Stay with me.
Every day, people have money emergencies.
Ma, I need my school fees.
Emergency.
Mommy,
chop money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans, and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow. It has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see S-I-N-T-E-X. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Syntex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntex again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntex gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntex is the answer. Syntex tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Thinking of investing in real estate? Then look no further. BOA is a well-recognized institution that would give you litigation-free properties. We have well-furnished and unfurnished 4 to 8 bedroom houses, luxurious homes, comfortable mansions, and litigation-free lands across the country. From Tema, East Legon, Medina, West Hillsmore, Accra, and other locations, we are definitely your best to go to. For more information, kindly contact BOA Unique Homes on 0506-859-513 or 0506-859-527 or follow us on our social media handles on Instagram at BOA_homes or YouTube BOA Homes. BOA Unique Homes. We build, we buy.
Can he tee up someone in red? And it goes to one.
I got 5 Champions League. You want to know? I be the real goat. I be the real goat. The left magician.
Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigerian Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
No, that shift. You two they lie, eh? Now the same stew where they use cook the rice and then they go put them for top.
Hey, you are lying. Ghana Jollof.
Are you here? Forget everybody, yeah?
My guy.
Put your papa in the jar. Put some respect on the goat.
On the goat. The only goat I know lives in Tema.
Every year, we dey give to you back.
We are talking about PET. I want some Yaji face.
Except be the goat, huh?
My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 and recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
About 1/3 of a million people live with HIV in Ghana. Close to 10,000 of them die each year, mostly as a result of a lack of antiretroviral drugs and adherence. In fact, close to 57% of children under 14 years living with HIV do not receive antiretroviral drugs, again as a result of inadequate funds to provide them with medication.
Life expectancy for these children is grim. The big worry, close to 16,300 people are newly infected with HIV each year. With this alarming rate of HIV infections, all of us are in danger, and Ghana is headed for an epidemic explosion if nothing is done now to avert it. While the Ghana AIDS Commission is working hard to overturn the situation, the Commission urgently needs funding support from corporate Ghana and individuals to save lives. We're therefore appealing to you, corporate entities and individuals, to support the National HIV and AIDS Fund by dialing *9898# on MTN and Vodafone and follow the prompts, or pay into the National HIV and AIDS Fund account number 101-863-161-3233, Bank of Ghana. Your donation will be used to prevent new infections and provide care for people living with HIV, including children affected by AIDS. For further information, please call Ghana AIDS Commission on 0302 919260 or email info@ghanaids.gov.gh. Give to save a life today. Ghana AIDS Commission, partnering to eliminate HIV and AIDS.
The 2023 EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is more than an exhibition. It's the gateway to your dream home. Don't miss this chance to make informed decisions about every aspect of your living space. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center from Thursday, November 23rd to Sunday, November 26th, 2023. This year, we are diving into the theme of home ownership, exploring the nuances between affordability, comfort, and luxury. We are bringing everything housing under one roof. just for you. See you there. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats. Rent to own. And sponsored by Elegant Homes and General Constructions Limited, where quality meets value. Global Lighting, your solution to quality lighting. Syntex Tank, Air Strong, Air Tough. Springfield Estates, where dreams are built. Virtual Security, complete security solution. DBS, your roof experts. Virtual InfoSec Africa, security solutions by design. Saint Gobain, making the world a better plan. Clifton Homes, beautiful homes, wise investments. The Kissington Heights, Airport City, Kumasi, by HDG Homes Limited.
And we've been having a very interesting conversation on the back of the delegates conversation that we just had. It's been very riveting, very fascinating indeed. Before now, we thought that the delegates, they get a lot of money, but as you've heard, if you really do the multiplication, and as you heard from the Ledokuku area with the delegate there, he says, well, they get around 100 to 200. Let's even use the upper limit of 200 cities that he mentions there. There are 1,800. Let's discount that to say 1,600. That candidate who is given the 200 CDs is having to pay 320,000 CDs just for Ledukuku. And you have to multiply that by what? 275 constituencies. 276 constituencies across the country. It sounds very impossible, but it's happening. I want to bring in my guest for a conversation on this, and as we go into Saturday, and they're joining me now. Professor Kobe Mensah has been listening in on that conversation. Now, I'll pick his thought pretty shortly. He's a political marketing strategist and also a lecturer. Joins us. Samir Wuku he is a leading member in the Baumia campaign, and he joins us in the studio. Kenwood Nwosu, he's also joining us. Emmanuel is a spokesperson of Dr. Freya Koto's campaign team. He's a stalwart of the party. Justin Kodia will join us. He's the General Secretary also for a conversation around how prepared the party is for Saturday. As I said, Professor Kobe Mensah is with me. Before I come to the politicians, Prof, give me a sense of what you make of what we heard from these two delegates. Does it represent anything that you become accustomed to?
Thank you, Evans. And let me say hi to Sami Apsu. Good to see you. And then, of course, your colleague there. Well, yes, it's a reflection of what we know. Obviously, we have been following the competition. We've been listening to delegates. And surprisingly, people have, been voicing out, about how much they're actually receiving from politicians. And so it is not something different from what we have actually been known or what we have been actually following. I think that it is very, very sad. I think the political parties, and not only NPP, the political parties must really take, some measures to actually curb that, because for people to ostensibly, be on mass media and then proclaim that they are receiving some sort of inducement, although some of them do not use the word inducement, I think it's very worrying.
But if you listen to the explanation, interestingly, that it's transportation, it's food, and the guy explains, I'm in my office, I'm in my farm, you want me to leave and come, you have to facilitate that. And so that's what they get. And the legitimate, for the example that was used, you go to a naming ceremony, you are served with food. So an equivalent is, if I can't provide the food, I'll give you money to spend instead of that. That sounds, plausible, does it not?
No, it doesn't. Political, parties operate, completely differently. Just like the media. I don't expect the media to pay me for my service. Evans, you and I know that the media's, service is non-commercial. And so I don't expect the media to pay me, for that service. If you actually do that, then of course you're actually jeopardizing the news, in its sanctity. And so we don't actually expect money to be paid by the journalism, the fraternity. The same way, politics is a public service. You put yourself up for a certain public service. You do not expect to be given transportation, nothing. I mean, of course, we have had politicians use the word logistics transportation and abuse it in a manner that it's even getting ridiculous. I mean, the amount of money we are hearing, quite a lot of money. And we know that they are not transportation. I actually put a blame on the EC because the EC is supposed to be the regulator of this industry, of this sector. They need to sanitize the space. If indeed it's transportation, the EC needs to set some kind of investigation. If they can't do that, or they have to actually hand it over to institutions that have the capacity to actually investigate, to really establish that indeed this is transportation, but it's not. And so it is really, really saddening, to hear people, say that. And we have to be mindful because at some point in time, some, people with very questionable characters would take hold of our political system and we would not like it.
And I have Sami Uku with me. I have Ken Unuo. So they are veteran politicians. Sami Uku is very young, but he's already a veteran politician. I'm not sure he would deny that. A good friend of mine who is a member of your government sent me a very interesting message. He says, I'm watching the program. In politics, it is OPM that works. OPM is other people's money. Without this, no one can ever, on his own funds, win the elections, especially in the presidential and parliamentary elections. That, for him, is a reality. So you had your delegates. You've been meeting them across the country. What they say is a reality that you've been dealing with. Apparently, it's lucrative.
Well, let me say a very good evening to your cherished viewers, and good evening to Prof as well. I haven't seen him in a long while. But Evans, I think tonight's conversation has been revealing, speaking to the delegate, and the whole picture, caricature that has been painted, that is the biggest economic activity that happens on that voting day, cannot be true, it cannot be accurate. You did use Lejokuku just for an example. You are talking about in excess of 1,600. A candidate cannot even give beyond that 400, 500 cedis even per delegate, because the figures will be huge. And doing that across 276, unless that candidate is only sitting there and looking at one constituency and not moving beyond that. But this is a mass election. So first of all, the expectations must be watered. And I'm happy the delegates themselves, they know the reality setting. And money will not be a key determinant in deciding who they should vote for. The NPP has never selected its leaders based on who can pay. Because as I keep telling you, Park Grant was the one who financed the preparation of this UGCC and bankrolled it. He never elected himself to be leader of the party. J. Kufuor was not a rich man. Akufo-Addo was not a rich man. Kofi Abrefa-Buzia was not a rich man. Victor Usu was not a rich man. So the party delegates at any point in time do not make a mistake. And listening to them today, they were very emphatic. The two that I happen to have listened to said, look, they are looking at people who can help them win political power. Political parties are set up to win political power, to implement the policies and programs to advance the cause of the nation. There are two options. Either you remain a pressure group or you remain a political party that is capable of winning an election. And once you do not win an election, the rest of it is press conference that you can organize because you are not in government. You can only share your opinion. But a serious political party should be looking at drilling down, do this research, the market research and the polling, to understand the battleground constituencies, the weak holes and the strong holes of the party and that of the opponent. So based on that, you go into an election period to elect candidates that will fit into this puzzle. So I do not think for a minute that people will vote based on how much that they are going to get. That would be an insult to the delegates of our party.
So you heard the delegates there. It appears to me from what we've heard that yes, money is there, but it's not the determinant factor. They'll take the money all right, but if they made up their mind, they've made up their minds.
True.
Right? Is that the reality that you know also campaigning on behalf of the former great man?
Further to that, if you look at our history from 1992, in 92, those who paid more were not the ones selected. Ilubuahi emerged as if he was like the most poorest among, but have done his campaign thoroughly. The Gaddisons of our world were all present in the 92 elections. Then we came to 96. President Kufuor emerged, not as the richest of them. The money back. I mean, the committee names and the rest that we knew at the time were involved in that election. Then we came to 98. Kufuor emerged again, and everybody knew that there were camps that paid even more than him, more like the underdog. And it's been so, as Sami have said, that it is not the one, the highest bidder or the one who pays more in our party that emerged as our leader.
So you see this perception that we have on this side, right, is been entrained by the politicians themselves. But the accusations that you make against each other, you see the trading, you are paid this. Even in your campaign, even in this campaign, we've had wild amounts bandied about. So we then believe that is happening. But you say the money is not influenced. The delegates say it's not influenced. So why do you still pay?
Oh, it's been explained that you cannot invite people to meet you, to leave their businesses, their farms to meet you without meeting them halfway.
But if they're about ideas, then they should come because they believe in your idea.
And how do they come? They are not all from the same community. People have to travel to meet you. How do they meet? Their transport, the cost. Their lunch. People will spend a whole day just coming. Sometimes because of your travels, the whole constituency could wait for you till midnight, all day, before you come to meet them and you leave them to go. It is not possible. Like the young man said, if it's social events that we attend, like funerals and outdoorings, we are taken care of. Sometimes more than what, one delegate will take home. And no delegate will take money home that will be sufficient enough to even, take care of your home for a week.
And I'll come back now to talk about the campaigns leading into Saturday. And Baumia was in the Upper East region yesterday with the Mammoth rally. I don't know where you've been. You heard the press conference today.
Yeah, to wrap up.
We'll talk about your campaign and how it's gone so far and what is most likely to happen. And then, of course, the polls that Sami Uku has been talking about. But there's a second one that had come up 2-3 days ago. We'll look at that. Let's quickly speak to the General Secretary of the party. Is joining us right now. He is Kodia Frimpong, who, of course, is leading this whole organization. Everything sits on his lap as the Chief Executive of the party. Mr. Kodia, thank you for your time here on PM Express. Are you ready for Saturday?
Good evening to you, Ivan, and your viewers also. Can you come again? What was the question?
Yes. Are you ready for Saturday?
Absolutely. With few days left, I can tell you and your viewers and the party's rank and file that we are ready. The Electoral Commission is ready. The Ghana Police Service is also ready, and I believe the delegates and the aspirants themselves are also ready.
Okay. And in terms of security, you've mentioned the police. Also because of what we saw in the super delegates. Alan Chamanteng is no more with you. Primarily, he's mentioned that as an excuse. What is going to happen on the day as far as security and ensuring that, there's no repetition of violence in parts of the country?
Well, we have never had the perfect elections in this world. And we always learn from the previous ones and improve on the future ones. As you may recall, about a week ago, the party, the Electoral Commission, the Ghana Police Service, together with the aspirants, had a meeting at the police headquarters. And we are all clear in our minds about the role that the Ghana Police Service will be playing on Saturday. And I also indicated our fullest support to the Ghana Police Service that on Saturday, they are in charge. They are supposed to make sure that there is maximum security in and around where the voting will be taking place, in all the 277 centers that we are going to have the election. And on that day, I've also given them the assurance that as a party, we will comport ourselves very well, and nobody, even from the presidency to the national party, on that day will have the right to interfere with the work that will be done by the Electoral Commission or the Ghana Police. And anyone who makes any attempt to cause any havoc or chaos there should be arrested by the Ghana Police Service. So I'm sure that the police service will be up to the task, and we're looking forward to having a very successful primary on Saturday.
On Saturday. And let's talk about the arrangements to satisfy all the aspirants in terms of transparency of the process, the albums that will be used, the register, the numbers of delegates. I don't know if you have a confirmation of the exact number. Is it 203,439 or that's the number?
Yes, that's the number that we are looking at. And also, to ensure transparency and fairness, as you have indicated, the party gave the album to the aspirant about a month ago for their perusal, and they'll be able to go through where there are a few issues, they have all been rectified. And as I speak to you, the final album has been given to the Electoral Commission for them to bring it on the day of the post.
Okay, and we've just been talking to delegates and speaking to the representatives of the candidates. One of the issues that have come up is, of course, the role that money is playing in this campaign. And we saw in the NDC's primary recently a woman who was standing on top of a vehicle and splashing the car. That became a big deal with calls for investigations. In your own party, there have been suggestions that this also goes on. How is the party dealing with this? Especially, as we've heard from one delegate, that between now and Saturday, they expect a bit more cash to come in. Is the party taking a serious view of this?
Well, some people will also be disappointed because I don't know how about 203,000 delegates, an aspirant will be able to give maybe 200 cities or 300 cities to each of them. I believe the elections on Saturday will be determined based on merit, based on the people's perception and how aspirants have been able to sell their message to the delegates. I don't think money price will play any role on Saturday elections. For us, as a national party, and together with the Presidential Election Committee, our focus is to make sure we have a successful and transparent election. That's our focus. In matters of monocracy and how an aspirant will play its campaign, we leave it to them. They have to decide on which strategy they are going to use. But I can assure you, money will not determine who will win the election on Saturday.
And if you find any evidence of candidates trying to influence delegates in any way, what's the party's approach going to be?
Well, if it happens within the perimeters where we are going to have the election, definitely the police force must arrest anyone who tried to induce anyone to vote for him.
Okay. And then the last time there was this issue also, people going into the polling booth and attempting to take photos of how they voted. What's the party's...
anyone who makes an attempt will be arrested by the police.
That is, if you take a photo and you wanted to show it around?
Anyone who tries will be arrested by the police.
Okay. Justin Kodia, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us as the General Secretary, and I wish you all the best with the organization of the polls. Sami, so Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been campaigning. When is he finally wrapping up everything?
Well, he's expected to have a brief press soiree tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
So far, he's visited...
What time and where?
I think it will be communicated to the media houses as well. He's so far visited and touched base with 276 constituencies. And directly, he has visited 261 of these constituencies directly. The 15 constituencies that's in the Upper East, they decided to come together in a rally form. So that's what I'm saying. He's visited 261 personally. Then again, he's interacted with over 203,000 delegates. He sold this message of hope, his vision to these delegates, and he believes that he's the man to help the NPP break the 8. Again, he's been very resolute in defending the party's ideals, our values. And he's somebody who has prepared himself 4 times running mate of our party. 4 times. Twice he's won with his boss, and twice they have lost. In terms of experience, he's guided quite enough. Again, he believes in the unity of the party, that the NPP can only win political power when as a party also rally around the leadership and that of the party and the flag bearer that we will elect. He's determined to also work with his brothers, his colleagues, who were part of the 10. And so that's why I find it very interesting when one candidate says that he was being bribed with over $800 million just to step down, when right from day one, Dr. Bawumia has been the candidate to beat. And consistently, polls by polls, he He's never trailed in any of the polls. Even the one conducted by our opponents doesn't put him behind. So
you know one is conducted by the opponent.
Even the one that is conducted by the opponent, initiated and authored by the opponent. So when you hear some of these things, it's just interesting. That notwithstanding, he's also stood by the party through thick and thin. And then definitely in any governance system, there will be challenges. Last year, November or so, when we had the exchange rate around 17 cedis to $1. And there was this time that I had Joy FM, Evans and his introduction when it comes to top story, that the dollar today is around 16 point something, the next day is 17. But God being so good, he said, look, there will have to be a strategy. He proposes gold for oil. Some of his own colleagues poo-pooed the idea and said that it wasn't possible. By and large, today, the dollar-CD ratio, in terms of relationship, in terms of stability, the CD has stabilized for almost 8 months. And in all fairness, I think this has not been through divine providence or a magic one. People have been working. So the man has not been a vice president who only occupied space and occupied title, but he's been an effective first-class vice president. I believe that one of the delegates that you interviewed made a very important comment. He said, look, the NDC their strongholds, the Volta, the North, and the Zongos. He mentioned that. He said they need a candidate that can consolidate our gains and break into these NDC strongholds. Dr. Bawumia, when he became running mate, the party had 4 seats in the old northern region, 4 seats out of 31. Through his instrumentality and working with his colleagues, today the NPP will have 16 seats, and the NDC, they've dropped from 27 to 15. So definitely this is somebody who has become an asset for the party. And I believe that the NPP spirit, our forebears and our founding fathers and the delegates will also favor him on Saturday and give him an opportunity for all of us to stand on the shoulders of history to produce the first candidate of our party of Northern extraction who has distinguished himself, who has worked so hard and contributed to the success of our party.
How would he lays a lot of the foundation on the fact that he's a vice president and the contributions he's made to the economy.
Yeah.
Some say if you are on the ground and you really want to be a killer, you say, well, the evidence is where we are, the IMF. Are you guys using that in the company? I'm just curious.
Not at all, because my principal had been part of the economic management team.
He's also been part of the cabinet.
Yeah, he's been part of cabinet. He was a senior cabinet minister. And that was a collective responsibility. And sometimes when the Bawumia camp